So both are different tools, we can say. So tracer is mainly used to trace some of the rules like flows, activities. Not only these things, in the real time, mainly they use the tracer for debugging activities or flow diagrams. And similarly, clipboard is also similar to that only. Here also we can trace what are the values given to the properties. So property values and property names. So associated with the particular properties, and that it contains some of the pages called user pages and declare pages. Okay, simply saying, clipboard is also a debugging tool, and mainly it is used for examining the property values and the messages associated with them. See, if you want to check the values of the essay associated with the property or any messages associated with the properties, we can check in the clipboard option. So using the user pages, and also any information if you want related to the properties, we can check in the clipboard page. And also we can also update the values of the properties, delete and modify the pages using the, so there is one thing called action menu. When you open the clipboard page, there is one thing called action menu. From there also we can modify the data, but it is not possible in the personal edition. So we can modify the data in the tables using the action tab in the clipboard page. I will show you that one. Okay, so under that we are having these two types of pages. So in order to quickly start the activities and flows using the action menu, we will use the action tab. And coming to the user pages, already we have seen what are the user pages we have seen in the previous sessions. PY work page is one of the user page, and another type of page is the primary, right? Those are default user pages, and according to the requirement we can add any number of user pages in the application based on the requirement. And okay, that those things will automatically refer the values and messages anything is associated with the properties. User pages will refer the any values or proper messages associated with the properties. And coming to the declare pages, so these are totally different when we compare with the user pages. Declare pages are shared pages. Declare pages are shared pages, means in the, if you want to access the global variables throughout the application, they will assign in the declare pages. See, in any case, if the developers want to access the global variables throughout the application, they can access using the declare pages. And how to do that? So they have to, so this declare pages also, again two types will be there, node level and thread level pages will be there. Under the declare pages we have two types, node level, thread level. Under the node level, suppose if they declare the pages under the node level, anyone in the application can access, means all the developers in the application can access the node level pages. And if they declare the thread level, only that particular developer who has declared that page can access, only that single developer only can access. So it is limited to only that particular developer who had created the thread level page. But if they create a node level page, means anyone in the application can access the node level pages. Okay, this is the difference between the node level page and thread level page. And where we have to define the declare pages, means we have to define under technical category. Under the technical category we have to define declare page. Actually it is also a declarative rule only, but we have to define it under the declare page. And another thing is, their name always must start with declare underscore. See, whenever, so by default whenever you open the declare page, its name will start with declare underscore. After that you have to enter some name. So declare page's name starts with underscore. Okay, and in the real time where they will use this declare pages, means See, if throughout the application they want to access any information, see any information, if they want to access throughout the application globally, means they will declare those values in the some data table, and those data tables they will automatically access from the clipboard page declare pages. For example, I can say, okay, in the next sessions we'll be working on integrations. For example, see, there will be some endpoint URLs will be there. So whenever we are working on some SOAP services or anything, or any connector services or any other services, web services, we used to have some endpoint URLs will be there. In order to share those endpoint URLs throughout the application, in order to access throughout the application, they will create a table, and they will access the table globally using the thread level pages. They will sorry, node level pages. So they will access that particular record. So all the URLs they will access through the node level pages. See this, when they send the node level page automatically, so not only from the same activity, so they can open it from any activity. So whenever they click on any activity or run the any activity, they can automatically open the node level page from the clipboard option. Okay, I'll show you practically. Okay, this is the main purpose. If they want to access any data or anything globally, so they have to define the declare pages. So under that, if they want to access, everyone want to access, means they have to define node in the node level. If only that particular developer want to access, means they can define in the thread level. Okay. So create one declare page. Actually there is one more type is also is there, but we will not use them. It is also similar to thread only, so no difference. There is one more thing called requester, but we will not use in the real-time application. So only either they will use node or thread level. And apart from these pages, there will be some system manager pages will be there. So we have regularly we will work on user pages and declare pages. Again there will be some other type will be there. Those are system manager pages. We will not use them, so it will be used by the any business analyst, or so automatically generate pages. So we will not create anything under that. So only thing you have to know is about user pages and declare pages. Don't worry about this. So system manager pages. Okay, see, under the user pages, if you are creating any user pages, you can access from the user pages category. So whenever you pass or whenever you run any activity, you will check in the user pages. And declare pages contains a thread level, requester level and node level pages. Okay, we will pass one thread level page and one node level page and check the output. Okay, yesterday we designed the framework, right? By default it is taking some time and automatically replaces the previous one. Okay, it in the real time the thing will be like this: framework layer, under the work hyphen class it will save all the data. Okay, let's create, go to our own class access group. It is going to take some time. Immediately it is not selecting, it is taking some time. Yesterday also we tried to replace that one, but immediately did not affect that one. Okay. Okay. Go to technical category, declare pages. Okay, give any name for the declare page. Create. See, once we define the declare page, there is no need to create every time, so we can reuse later in the total application. So the purpose is no need to create automatically. We can set some intervals and it will refresh the data in the database. Suppose, see, for some this interval we have to refresh the data, so automatically we can set some interval, so some condition will be there. Using the time interval, it will automatically refresh the data, so it is created once and it is reused for the entire application. No need to create every time, so it is created only once in the application in those declare pages, and the data will be updated in the data tables. Okay, so again every time they will not create the declare pages. Okay, page type read only. First of all I will show the, okay, thread level. We will see thread level means only this, whoever created this declare page, only he can access the thread level pages. Others in the application cannot access the thread level pages. Page class means enter your class structure name. Okay, we have to create one activity. This is the conditional strategy. When to, it should automatically update the data. They'll give in this, automatically it will refresh the database and it will update the latest data in the data table. And we have to create one activity here. Okay, before creating activity, I want to create one data table. Okay. Normally in the real time they will pass the endpoint URLs. I'm just giving some like domain names like gmail.com, yahoo.com. Okay. If they declare thread level pages, only this particular developer, only whoever created the thread level page, only he can access. Create an activity. First of all, go to security. Under the activity type, select load declarative page. Under the activity type, select load declarative page. Go to step. Okay, under the step page option, give the page name. You see what are the page name you have created here. At the time of creating the declare page. Okay, I'm using a method called obj list. Okay, in the page name, provide the same page. Obj class means data table class name. Save the activity. Okay. Save the declare page. Now execute the activity. Open the clipboard page. Okay, thread level, right? Open the page. In the results you can see, okay, what are the results defined there. It will display all the results. Okay, these things can be so local way, only that particular who has created this thing thread page, only he can access. Same thing if you define under the node level means, okay, here we need to enter the access group name for the node level. So from which access group, so whoever having the access group, that access group, so they can access. For that, enter the access group name. Okay, there is one thing called flush page. Suppose in any time if you want to remove those pages from the clipboard means we have to use the flush page option. Flush page means actually there are no pages, no thread page. In any case, if you want to delete those pages from the pages category, you can use the flush page option. It will automatically delete the pages. Click on save option. Run. Okay, not this one. Okay, once log off and log in, and we'll create one. See, declare node level pages can be accessed not from the same activity, they can access from any activity. Okay, before that, once log off and log in. I'm creating some test activity. To show that not only the same activity, we can access the declared pages from any activity. Open the clipboard, node level. This is our page name. Okay. So in the real time also the process will be seen. So but there they will give the time interval also when it should refresh the data. Suppose every day, so every single day if we want to refresh the data from the database, so we can set in the interval there. So automatically, so it will update the data from the database, and it will load the new data here, so they can see the new results in the under the declare pages category. So globally, if they want to access any information, so if they want to share any information throughout the application, they used to define in the declare pages category. Okay, just a simple thing. And also I'll show the tracer also. Tracer is also another debugging tool where we can trace the different rules, not only in a single rule, we can trace all the rules in the application, like flows, activities, decision tables. So wherever we got the error, it will display the logs in the application. Okay, so at that certain point or certain line we got the error means, so we can go to that particular step and it can identify the what is the error message it is displaying, and we can correct the results. Okay, tracer is also is debugging tool similar to the clipboard page. Okay, how to trace any rule? So normally the tracer option is available here next to the clipboard. Okay, we'll have some options like pass. So automatically when you start the tracer, and if you add any rule, means when you start any activity or any flow, automatically it will start the tracer and show all the things, all the information. And clear means it will clear all the logs. Settings. So first of all, by default, whenever you open for the first time, so all the options will be disabled. We have to enable all the options. And breakpoints means it is particularly for the activities. Only using the breakpoint option we can trace. So suppose like I want to say, like suppose some 1,000 lines are there. So 1,000 lines are there means, if you want to, for every 100 lines, if you want to get a breakpoint, we will use this option. So we will have to select the class name, activity name, and where to break, we have to set the breakpoint and close. Automatically whenever you select the breakpoint option, it will display the logs automatically. So line by line. So instead of displaying all the logs at a time, they used to set breakpoints, and so they will continue. Then watch will not use. Remote tracer, it will not work here. So save option means in order to save the what are the logs it is displaying, if you want to save those logs, we have to save in the, it will save in XML format. So if we can save using the save button. Okay, first of all, go to the settings tab. Select all these rules. Okay, here how many lines you want to display, you can select here. Okay, open any activity. Okay, first of all, run the activity. Start the tracer. Execute.
Hari, what is that error message every time whenever we run something, we are getting that error message?
That is not, don't worry about it. That is server, I have to restart the server.
Hari?
Yes, tell me.
Hello?
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, what does the status indicate, like it's having some false or true, right? And
Sorry.
what does that mean? In that tracer, once you bring that up, there's a status column, right?
Okay, status. Just
Yeah.
it will also load some default pages also here in the personalization. So status is nothing but whether, suppose if it give fail message means you have to worry. If any other thing status has false or good, not a problem. Whenever it shows the fail message and red mark will be there, at that time we have to know that some error message is there. See here. Okay, here we have some fail message it is showing. Okay, it will show some message also what is the problem with that particular tool. So unable to open the instance, so some server problem is there. Some unable to open the instance using the given inputs. OBJ class employee table 12 and employee ID. So in the employee table 12, so there is the problem with the employee ID. So we have to check that, go to that particular activity. So what is the step number is 3, it is saying. Okay, so whenever it displays any error, so this is the step number 3. Okay, we have to go to the step number 3 and check that thing. Okay, in
So
the
directly when we click on that step, it takes us to that particular activity where it failed?
yeah, yes. It will not directly take, it will where the error it is showing, it will show that particular step.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
the OBJ open, in the first step also there is some error it is showing. So whenever it shows the fail message, we can check the messages there. So in the activity, the step number 1, it is again there is a problem with that one, unable to open instance using the given inputs. What is the problem, we'll see. Okay, obj open, maybe some problem with the data table, I think. Okay, some server error problem is there, it is not loading correctly. Employee ID 1 2 2 3 3 4 4. UNP12 page Paytm app. Okay, right now activity wise there is no error, there is a problem in the server. Okay, we need to restart the server automatically, it will be resolved. Okay, no problem in the this activity rule. So right now there's something, previously we have changed the framework, right? So something has changed here, we have to restart the server, automatically the issue gets resolved. Okay, suppose if there are any error in the activity, it will show in this format. Okay, it will, if the status is fail means we have to look for the error. Okay, if it is showing fail or good, sorry, if it is showing the status as good or unable to open, false, there is no need to worry. So only whenever it shows the status as fail, okay, then we need to check the lines. Okay, now again the thing is removed, it is resolved right now, it is not showing any message. Okay, so like this we can trace the, suppose you don't know, suppose some error message it is showing in the activity but you don't know where you are getting that message. At that time you can add that particular rule in the tracer and you can check where the thing is happening, so where the wrong is happening, so automatically so go to that particular step and there you can do some changes. Okay, and if you want to add only particular activities, if we want to access means directly we can add from the breakpoint option. Just clear all the logs, go to the breakpoint. So similarly you can access the flows also. So not only flows, any rule, not only flows and activities, any rule in the application you can access using the tracer. So means you can add to the tracer option. So suppose in the user interface you are designing, you are having some problem, so in somewhere you don't know, but where is the error you don't know, or just start the section and run the section and automatically open the tracer, it will show the log messages. Okay, how to add the activities to the breakpoints means it will not work properly, but I am showing the process. Enter the class structure name, you have to select the activity rule name, and where to break means what it will do means every second it will stop at certain number of, and if you give the breakpoint as 30 means it will display 30 lines and it will stop. So again next it will display next 30 lines, it will stop. So like that we can set some breakpoints to the activity. So instead of at a time displaying all the things, it will stop the particular activity at certain time. Okay, you have to run that activity, automatically it will set the breakpoint here. The activity name is insert act 1. first click on the run button activity. Then after opening the tracer page, now click on the execute button. So automatically it will display the events there. Open the tracer now. So breakpoint is not working here exactly, so it will work in the real time update. If it is any error messages, it will show the fail message. If it is good or false means no need to worry. So like this we can add the rules to the tracer log.
So Hari, if you're saying we are applying the breakpoint for 30 times, are we running the activity 30 times? Like,
Not running the activity for 30 times, 30 lines it will display first. Again it will display the next 30 lines. So after 1 second, again it will display the, so whenever you click on the pointer there, next it will display next 30 lines, not 30 times.
Okay.
That line,
Okay.
so the number of lines it is setting the breakpoint for number of lines.
Okay.
Okay, so a simple thing. See, for all these things, if you want to get the total information, refer the theoretical part in the developer help. Go to developer help, and you can find the more information on the practical. So step by step it will be there. For example, today we discussed about the pages, right? Declare pages. Go to the declare pages and you can find the total information, more information. So about the declare page rules. Okay, so what are the options you have there? So everything you can find in the declare page rules. And if you want to know about user pages, so directly, instead of typing that, directly type clipboard option. So what is clipboard? What is the definition? What are the pages available in the clipboard? So everything will be there. You can check in the, so from this category. Suppose if you want information about the tracer means, so type tracer, you will get the information how to debug with the tracer. So adjusting the buffer size, selecting the connection, setting breakpoints. So step by step options will be there. If you want some more information about any rule, not only these things, if you want some more information about any rule in Pega, this is the best material, because nowhere, so even if I send materials also, so already I shared some materials to you. So apart from that, the best material you want to refer is, you have to refer, compulsory you have to refer these things, because so whatever you are learning in this developer help, you will be getting in the certifications and interviews also. In the interviews also they will ask these things only. I will tell you what are the things you have to refer in this. So the topics I will tell you. So what are the topics I have covered, it is enough for you. No need to go to more, some advanced topics will be there which we will not be using in the application also, real times also. What are the things or what are the rules I have taught? Learn those rules, it is sufficient for you. And one more thing is, I will give the introduction about the agents today. See, normally Pega is having one simple topic called agents. Okay, agents are nothing but if you want to perform any batch processing. Okay, so in the Pega, if you want to perform any processing, batch processing, so automatically, so we can add those things in the agents rule. So we have to create an agent, and we need to set some intervals and all. So at what time we should start the process. Okay, it will automatically, so suppose if you want to delete the data or update the data or generate any report at certain time interval, we will have to generate the agents. in the agents also, in the Pega we have two types of agents will be there. Okay, those are master agent. So actually you cannot see those master agents directly in the Pega tool. So those master agents are processed by the Pega. Actually Pega will look after all Pega will control all the master agents. So by default in the internally Pega will have so many agents will be there in the backend, and Pega will monitor or Pega will control all the master agents. And whatever we are creating in the application are scheduling agents. Okay, so whatever we are creating, those agents are called as scheduling agents. Okay, so like these two types of agents will be there basically. So what are the developers we are creating, those comes under scheduling agents, and what are the agents which are monitored or controlled by the Pega are called master agents. So we cannot access them in the personal edition, so they need to have some certain like, so access, so means they have to pay some amount, so means they clients will manage all those things, so they have to access from the Pega systems. So directly we cannot access them, so there will be some certain price will be there for each and every, for accessing anything in Pega. Okay, so like this master agents will be controlled by the Pega PRPC. And another thing is, these first of all agents are created under the sysadmin category. If you want to create an agent means, second, agents are created under sysadmin category. Under the sysadmin, by default our agents will be stored under the rule set option. See, when you go to the sysadmin, so there will be rule set automatically, right? So under the rule set all the agents will be saved. And under the agents also, whenever you open the agent page, there will be again, so there will be something called pattern. Under that again you have two types will be there, periodic agents, and another type is recurring agents. Okay, periodic agents means here we have to, at certain time interval it will, these periodic agents will be fired automatically. For example, if you give 10 seconds to, so actually minimum time in order to fire the periodic agents is 5 seconds is the minimum time, and you can give any number of seconds. Okay, but minimum time interval or minimum seconds you have to give for the periodic agent is 5 seconds, and later on you can add any number of seconds. So it will be in the seconds, it should automatically fire within that certain seconds. See, if you, for example, simple example is, so when you open the cricket sites, so automatically for every 50 minutes or 30 seconds it will automatically refresh. So those are nothing but some periodic agents. And recurring means, if you want to perform some batch processing or anything at certain time interval, suppose for every month, weekly, daily, or every weekday, if they want to set the recurring agents, so there will be some time interval will be there. It's like the number of days, within the number of days, within a week, within a month, or within a year. So those things can be set in the recurring option. Like this two types will be there. So all these comes under schedule agents only. So all the periodic and recurring agents comes under schedule agents. So master agents, it is not related with us. Pega will control all of them. And okay, and in the again, whenever you select either periodic or recurring, again there will be some modes will be there. So different types of agent modes will be there. Different types of modes. So the different modes are legacy, one is advanced, and standard. Okay, these are the three types of modes. Legacy is nothing but, see, if you want to use the agents which are created between the before 5.4 version. So if you want to use the agents which are created before 5.4 version, those comes under legacy. Actually we will not use them, don't worry. But legacy is nothing but the agents which are created before 5.4 version comes under legacy mode. And coming to advanced, simply saying, so after the agents, so standard and advanced means, so both the agents, so which are created after 5.4 version, so both comes under advanced and standard. Means the recently created agents comes under advanced and standard. Again, the difference between the advanced and standard is, see, in the standard mode what happens means, see, there will be something called queue management. Okay, in either advanced mode and standard mode there will be something called queue management. In standard, so automatically we can do our, or we can customize the queue management in the standard mode. So actually what happens means, there are two types, so both the modes are different only, but only difference between those two is, in the advanced mode Pega will automatically monitor the queue. So many works will be there, right? So when whatever we are getting, all the works will be saved in the queue, and whatever the queue management we have to do, Pega will automatically monitor the queue. So it is nowhere, so we cannot change that one. So by default Pega will automatically manage the queue. In the standard there is an option, both options are there. We can manage the queue, or else by default there is an option called Pega monitoring. So Pega will automatically monitor queue. There is another way, we can also uncheck that option and we can manage the queue by ourselves. Further, there is some class will be there. There is one class called that is system-queue-. So where you want to manage all the queues means, we have to go to the system-queue-. There all the queues will be there, so all the work will be there. There we have to manually monitor the queue, but it will not happen, don't worry, automatically. So Pega only will monitor the queue and all, so we will not select the standard mode anytime. By default we will not use legacy mode or standard mode in the real time. We will only use the advanced mode, okay, because we will not manually handle the queues. Automatically Pega will handle the queue management. Okay, don't worry about the standard or any other type. By default in real time we will use advanced option. Okay, these are the options we got in the under the agents. Okay, in practical I'll tell you in the tomorrow's session. Okay, it will not save the agents, but I will show the process how to do that one. We'll see in the tomorrow's session. Okay, any queries?